Parking brakes. A lot of cars have them, but not a lot of people are using them. And today we're going to discuss why these are disappearing from cars today. Now, parking brakes are a supplementary braking system separate from the regular brakes on the car that allow the vehicle to not roll away once you put it into park. And before we discuss, here's a quick reminder on how parking brakes work. Now, there's two different types of parking brake setups. We got our drum-based and our caliper-based setup. Now, if you look down inside here, there's a drum attached to the disc. That's where the parking brakes are. Now, inside of that drum, there's two shoes that are C-shaped like this. Now, when you pull your parking brake lever, it's going to pull a cable in this mechanism here, which is going to spread these shoes apart against the inside surface of that drum, so it's kind of self-contained. Now, the other style, it sits on the caliper itself and pushes against the piston, and that's what's going to squeeze these brake pads against the disc to stop it. Now, the extension of that would be electronic parking brakes, where we've got a giant motor sticking off of the caliper over here, and that's also pushing in on the piston when it's activated through wires. There's no cable. Now, that electronic parking brake is now linked to your ECU, which in turn is linked to the CAN bus and can be controlled by many other things, including that little parking brake button on the dash. So why would you use parking brakes? Well, the first off is to save that little parking pawl inside of the transmission. Now, here we are inside of a Cadillac transmission. Now, this plant carrier is the output coming from the transmission, which plugs in straight to our little shaft that goes to the transfer case and then the wheel. You can see on the output here, there's these square cut teeth in here, and inside of here, there's a parking pawl, which is this little tooth sticking out here. Now take a look at that little parking tooth as I activate it and deactivate it. It's got very little travel and a very small profile. That little tooth there is what's going to stick inside of these gaps over here to stop the transmission from turning when you're in park. Now, between that tooth and that outside gear, there's a tiny bit of tolerance, and you can see it as I'm moving it back and forth. Now, you know when you're on an incline, your wheels are trying to turn the car, so you put a little bit of torque onto this, and you hear that clunk when you shift into reverse. Well, that's this little parking pawl giving away, because you got some pressure on it, boom, you've released it, and now your wheels are free to turn, or at the mercy of your parking brakes if you had it on. Now, while the parking pawl itself could break, the mechanism to control it is just this little cone surface over here. So you see, as I press it in, that's what's pushing down on that parking pawl. That's it. So let's say there's a little bit of extra tolerance in your linkage over here, or maybe your shifter's not working properly. This could just easily pop out of gear, and now you're in neutral. Let me just take this off real quick. Let me just pop out this little shaft here. Here is the parking pawl. Got a piece of my wife's dress here, just gonna wipe that down. And that's the tooth profile over there. There's actually half of it sliced off here, and that sits inside of there, and that's the only thing holding your car from rolling away. You ever put your vehicle in park on a hill and then release the brake and then it kind of slips in and jerks like that? Well, that's because you're supposed to use the parking brake to hold it here instead of relying on the transmission to hold it here. Now, they used to call them emergency brakes, but there's more of a safety feature right now because I don't think the little shear pin that goes in here is capable enough of stopping the car completely, especially if you got some good speed going in there. But this surface area at least is a lot better than this surface area if you're talking about just holding the car stationary. Now, it goes without saying that manual transmission cars definitely need a secondary braking system, and that's because you can't really just stick it into gear and keep warming up your car while you brush off all the snow on a cold day like today. And also on snowy days like today, there are people who like to use their parking brake to drift around corners or in a snowy parking lot, especially if they have the wrong wheel drive car. Now we come to a more controversial topic on why the OEs are moving over towards using electric parking brakes instead of the old pull style. Now, if you remember, our electric parking brakes is linked to the ECU, and now with that link, you can now engage the brakes automatically when you put it into park, for lazy people. You can now hold the brakes when you're on a hill, again, for lazy people. And you can free up space on the dashboard. If this wasn't here, imagine all the space I'd free up for extra wireless chargers and cup holders that we all love to enjoy in our cars these days. And of course, there's some downsides. The first of which, the system's more expensive. You got motors, you got sensors, you got wires. Definitely going to cost you a lot more. The second of which, especially for enthusiasts, is you can't do any drifting with it. Because there's no tactile feeling, you can't control it. It's literally just an on-off button on the dashboard. You don't have that control over your car anymore. The other thing is there's not always some built-in mechanism to disable them, because if your battery's dead, for example, you got to get towed, you pretty much have to drag it or put it on dolly. Now, the biggest cost for the consumer comes when it's time for diagnostics and repair work. For example, a very simple brake job with the motor hanging off the back here, you now need a scan tool in order to retract that piston so you can put new pads in and it sits on the rotor nicely. Then you need to recalibrate that parking brake motor so it knows exactly the pad thickness and how much force to apply. Oh yeah, when it comes to actually diagnosing and repairing the system, you remember there's so much complications inside of here. You need a scan tool in order to communicate with it, and these parts, such as the parking brake switch, the ECU, and the calipers themselves, are going to be extremely expensive compared to your standard ones that use the drum style system. And think of it, you're also using these brake pads a lot more than if you had a separate system with shoes. This one's over 12 years old and it's still got a little bit of meat left on it. Now you tell me in the comment section down below, what do you think of the move towards electric parking brakes, which are going to get more expensive, and if you even use your parking brake at all. Now for this one you can shoot the messenger, because while I'm an advocate for mechanical parking brakes, I never use mine. Make sure you subscribe if you want to see more videos just like this one.